He won't eat for a week. Well, he might eat better. I mean,
No, Mama might get pissed off because she's got no cooking oil.
she might beat you with a stick.
It's foreplay.
Oh, foreplay. That's what you call cooking play. I'm light buckets. The old factory one, you know, sat in here. Where is it? Got them sat in here like this. The two mounting screws to adjust your headlights were right here and here. I don't need the bucket. I need the mount at this point. And then we have this mount, which goes into the front grille this way. That being the top. See, it has a T on it, so you know it's officially the top. This one is completely alien to this. It's also bigger. The kicking the camera tripod here. So the mounting tabs for this thing are, you know, here, 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 and that one there is just a little bit outside. But I might be able to just, you know, bend this tab back flush, you know, do some pounding, nail it back in there. So, you know, somehow. They don't make, or I found the wrong ones for a CJ. These are for a JK. And I feel like I'm on, I can't remember the name of the show. Kindergarten, whatever it is, with the magic mirror. Let's look through the magic mirror. No, stop that. Getting the ADD squirrels here. So what I'm thinking of doing with this, because I can only surmise or guess that with the writing, this is the top. If that's the top, then I am so close to hitting 3 holes. 4. Gotta hit 4. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut this off here, cut this one off at that bend there. I'm gonna take this ring here off so I don't, you know, screw it up. And then I'm gonna hammer that down flat, this one down flat so it matches that profile. And then I can probably just zip them off even tighter. I don't understand. You got Torx. Allen wrenches, not Torx. Or hex keys, as now they want to call them, because I guess Allen got his panties in a twist and they can't call them Allen wrenches anymore. I don't know. Whatever. Allen wrenches, hex keys, Torx. You figure it out. We're going to frig this up now. We need to get a Phillips and an Allen wrench. Sorry, Allen. I'm still going to call them Allen wrenches. Got a set of springs in here that go all the way through the retaining ring. I was going to count all these turns. It's like 12 or 13. Then I realized I got a steel sliver that's just starting to say hello to me. Yep. We'll ignore it because now would be the time to pull it out, but I think we'll wait till it burrows its way into my hand and turns into something septic. Got him. Okay. So that's the out. That's the out. This goes in. Now we're gonna stop because I need something over here that it's all covered in tools because I was lazy and didn't clean up after myself over there. Right there. Gotta clean up. Next task, I've punch marked them. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm gonna snap these off. Be right back. Okay, so we've done some slight modifying. Got some super sharp steel in here. And something that died on that side. We're gonna just kind of take the lippy fixture here. This will work for now to get me my guidance that I am just desperately needing. Right? That sits there, sits there, sits there. Let's drill some holes. That's all I can say. What else am I gonna do? I gotta find a drill. No, that's what I gotta do is right here is find a drill. Yeah. Working with a non-professional workbench. Because I've got no space in here for a proper workbench. Like I said. Wow, that stepper bit is just DOA. Okay, where I got more of them here. Let's give this one a go. I ain't even locking it. I don't care. Much better. Okay, well, she don't look pretty, and she's kind of warm, but that should be either you're up or you're up. Doesn't matter really, as long as you got 1 of your holes. I'm thinking to adjust your pitch up and down, and then you've got your springs to do your left and right. It sounds reasonable. I don't know. Maybe it's not. But I'm going to try and fit her on here now. Got our holes inside and outside, right? Let's see what we got. Mr. Mike from Milwaukee here is 100% right. Why fight when you can do it wrong? In and out, Mr. Mike. Thank you very much. We're all Phillips. We're all Phillips and friends here. Okay, let's do a topper. Yeah. Mr. Mike from Milwaukee is going to be at the power bars here again. Try. There's no freaking way I did that. Yeah, since my options are somewhat on the limited side, let's just there's my Mike from Milwaukee here. Come here, Mike. Excited to be out and working today, but come on. Our headlight retainer ring does not go on yet. This bad boy goes on by itself, lines up by itself. Should not be a big issue because we got 3 holes. 3 holes. Now, I'm not 100% sure if she goes this way or this way, but I do have one that hasn't been taken apart. So, the facing ring is out. Right? That's in, that goes into. Put 3 springs in. Maybe we can get away with it doing it this way. I don't know. Probably not. Hey, Mike, come here. Mike. Oh, there you are. Come on, Mike. Oh, what happened? Well, how did we do that? Well, come on. What in the world? There you are. Oh, top sharp steel. It's great for cutting fingers open. We're going to drop a spring. Spring. These rings are $50, so I don't really think I'm out anything by compromising them as I have. Got one in. I also don't know where the chrome rings are for this Jeep. They may be in the Jeep still. Not 100% sure. But there. Now I've got my mounting ring for the LED headlights. Up, in, done. We're going to get Mike over here again in a second. And like I said, the back mounting plate here, if you bend them a little bit, modifying them, if you can't find the proper ones that for a CJ7, then you're going to take a stab at cutting up a set of JK ones. They also make some out of a nylon or fiber reinforced plastic, I guess. But it's a whatever you need to do to make it work deal. Give Mr. Mike a call again. Mike! Oh, there you are. How you doing, Mike? Line them up. But there we go. Now I have my mounting for an LED headlight, whereas the factory original buckets, this is the one that holds the halogen headlights, the seal beams. You end up having to cut all this material off just to get an LED in here because it won't sit through here. It needs the room to go in because this, you know, obviously this is out further, but you don't need half of the depth that the LEDs are. And I might have just screwed myself too because I've got my radiator or my power steering cooler is right here in the road. It may have to be undone and moved out of the road because I got my retention ring for my headlights. It's easy to put on. All right, 1, 2, 3. The union dictates that the rules have to be followed, and when you need to use something, you have to use Mr. Mike. So we use Mr. Mike. You go on like this. Oh, is that how you go? Perfect. Okay, good. They could paint it white or something and make it a little bit easier. But no, that's all right. This is just all going together probably way too nicely. I don't have any LED bulbs to go in here yet, so I'm gonna have to order them. I probably have to order the beauty ring too because, well, I don't know where they are. We're gonna do number 2. I don't know what time it is. I'll shut this light off and then we'll check the time and decide. Well, giving the old Amazon a try here. Straightening out fins and a turbo air-to-air. Intercooler, for those that don't understand air-to-air. It's a good tool, but not a great tool. Because you can't, there's too many of them. What I mean by too many is you see the fin count, they don't fit between the fins properly. That's too big. That fits. Once you get it in and get it started, it's good, but you got to get it in there and get it started. That's the issue, is they're too fat at first. That's what the girls all say about me too. You're too fat at first. No, too much. Once you get them started, they go pretty good. You just comb them out. It's like fleas out of your hair. There we go. You're gonna end up with a couple that are just gonna be miserable. It does work for a tool. It's not fantastic. For $15, it ain't bad. That's the Amazon. Comes from China. Multiple sizes. Getting them to work on all these fins, it's going to be a bit of a chore. But not a bad one. Not a great one, but not a bad one. The fins, or the combs, whatever you want to call them, you can see before they've even been used, they're folding in on each other. That makes it difficult to get them between the fins on the, why is this thing just not focusing? Fins on the intercooler or on a radiator. I bought it because I got an air conditioner that the fins are all collapsed on one side. That's going to be a pain in the ass, but it'll be what I have to use now. Better than using a screwdriver. There is another tool that's out there. It's a little bit smaller, but this is what I bought. Works, but not fantastic. I'm thinking I'm going to cut a couple of these outsiders off. What I did on this one, which it's not focusing, focus you there, is I took a file, an angle file. Where is it? This little file here, files on both sides, and I just sharpened it so they got more of a point on the end. I get the extra plastic and nylon that's hanging on there, but makes it a little easier to get it between the fins over here when you're trying to straighten them out. But again, it's not a fantastic tool, but it does kind of sort of work. Maybe toothpicks jammed in there might help it. Uh-oh. COVID.
Yep.
Hey, the tool came from China. We don't know how else good, you know.
The woo-foo flu.
The woohoo flew hoo. Oh well, whatever. But the 12. Oh, that's the 10. The 12 is like just about there. But because they're so malformed, they're formed nicely here, but they're all bending in. So they make it near impossible to use them. It's kind of frustrating because it's a nice little tool. Sorry, I was showing you the different size. You know. But to get them in between the slots here, you really gotta be careful and wiggle them in. Like the center of the comb, they're really good. And like I said, I filed those to get them in there a little better. I'm gonna try something here. What I did is on the 12, I trimmed them back. 12 isn't the same as the one that I was using, but we might find that it doesn't fit as good as the 10, right? So that's what you're after. You want them to notch down in there, so you get the fins straight. And you gotta comb through them all to get them straight. But like I said, this tool's not fantastic. It's not horrible, but it does a moderately good job of doing that. On these ones back here, where they're a little more bent over, you really gotta poke along and take your time here. I think this is where having one of these with fewer, half the fins, because then you can get in there and really just kind of work them. You know, you be wearing your safety glasses doing this. Okay, so I got a 3-finger jobby just to try. Oh no, 3-finger Louis here. Maybe even a 1 would do. But again, it's cheap. So you get what you get when you buy cheap tools. Sometimes they work good. Sometimes they sort of work good. Sometimes they just don't work for nothing. This works. It's not fantastic, but it does work. So it's cheap. It works. It's going to do what I want. Got to mess with it to make it work better, but it works. Well, a little bit of perseverance. These ones here were really bad. Can't get them really good. Got those standing up over there. Got them all pretty much good enough to flow air, and that's what we want. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Oh, and when the turbo went back, I was leaking oil around here. Couldn't figure out why, because the gasket's supposed to be in there, right? Or is the gasket half hanging out? Yeah, the gasket's half hanging out. Awesome. Great job. And if you're going to mess up, at least own up to it. I thought it was in. Apparently it said no and left. It left the chat. So that means now I got to lift it off again and place it back in there again, because, you know, doing it 6 times is more fun than doing it once, right? You learn. No, probably not. But yeah, I'm going to back that off again. I can leave that on. Just maybe somehow pop the throttle out. Back out the 3 bolts that are holding it. The one down here. Lift maybe. I have another gasket up there too. But then if I can get this one in place and it's not messed up, then I can put the gasket back in there. At least then it'll have the gasket in place. Frick only knows why it's not in there. But anyway, I got another turbo too. The exhaust side is, hold on,